So, all right, so I'm going to read, I decided to just, I wasn't sure what the vibe would be, so I didn't pick ones specifically in advance, but while everyone was just like chilling, I decided to, I had ones I wanted to read. So the first one I want to read is on 31, for whoever's following along. Or maybe. Let's see. Or actually, yeah, maybe I'll read on page 46, so number 7. And so my book is called The Names of Things, Stories from New York. Mostly because it's like me having flashbacks to being a kid in New York, and then we moved away for a little bit, and then I came back as an adult, so it's like the mixing of the two worlds, and especially since New York has changed so much, or at least the New York of my childhood has changed so much. So, number 7. Casually at work today, we discussed how there is no God. He's just not there, he's just not there, and there's no evidence for him. Not in the phases of the moon, nor the wrath of the tornado, which have been explained by the weather stations and charts. So how could they cross my mind? Not in the lowing of the cow, the bliss of a flower, the dance of the bee, the mosquito feeding off my arm. And while I've read some people need to bleed to feel alive, still this doesn't count as a sort of message. Even less if it's in songs on the subway in the morning about our Redeemer coming down like a thunderstorm, soon to condemn only the men who are adulterers and liars and sinners, and employed in corporate offices charging haircuts to the firm card, and dancers and sushi and the feel of the finest of sheets in hotels, because everything, even a smile, can be credited when nothing is sacred. Still, I remember the homeless in McCarran Park, mostly after Mass on Sundays, when I fed the pigeons with crusts, and my mother said not to look upon them, sleeping in the sunlight or washing in the fountain. These men in my background, when I had ribbons in my hair, and I wondered how St. Francis had recognized Jesus in the leper. And where was he now, our God, asking me to find him, so his glory could be revealed over and over again in front of these gossiping women on the park bench? Yet a couple washed their clothes today and dried them on the rails before the Brooklyn courts, and I walked past in the afternoon air, timing the echo of my shoes, rubbing my fingers and blinking my eyes, keeping track of each step and the minutes left untended, and God wasn't anywhere. Okay. And then, I don't want to be like a downer. I know, everyone's like slitting their wrists. Alright, so I'm just going to read like a kind of fun-ish one. Let's see, or maybe, yeah, I'm locked between two, but, alright, on page 16. So, number 35. Once I owned a pig who ate nothing but truffles, and my housemaid Jenny just wasn't having it. I'm allergic, she said, to truffles, and thus even the breath of the pig. But I triple-checked the packaging and the farmer, and it's all organic. Besides, I argued, I'm ruined if I can't have my pig. There was a protest, notes on the refrigerator, the purchasing of groceries for 1 week, until I locked my pig inside my closet and left for class. Once I owned a pig who I locked inside a closet because of his breath, and when I came back from class, there was a note pinned to the door, left for my poetry workshop, signed Pig. But he missed dinner that evening, and I never did see him again. I have more, but there's other people, so again, the books are here at your leisure, and that's mine. Thank you.
All right, Philip.
Last but not least.
Last but not least.
I'm going to go.
I'm going to ruin the energy in the room.
Okay, great. Thanks for the warning.
This next poem that I've never not regretted reading. It's called Sorry. I want to come on a piece of toast and watch you eat it while I put my fingers in you. I think this means I love you. I'm rusty at this. My skin's all crusted over in the soft spots. I'm tired of everything being so fucking cute. And you are the cutest. I want to smash your face in with a piece of cement. I wouldn't sing at your funeral, but I would wear a suit. If we took a shower together, I would sing to you then, and I would dry your hair. The last woman who loved me asked me to do this, and I crushed her between the towel folds. But don't
Piled high in grand central receptacles, waiting in vain for a non-existent fate at their recycling bin. We try not to stare, but see into each other's passing nods of appreciation or disdain. We are all in this together. Are we all in this together? We search a frantic nightly mess of tabs and updates, cigarettes, inspiration in article form, and exchange and hope. The feeling of connectivity when all you can really see is your battery slowly dying and your wish to be anywhere but there. Jittered and polished, we enter our days piling up quickly with a mounting fear and complacency for what is now and what was then. We search for God in a sigh, we lick our lips and furrow our brows, and truly believe that we are each bigger than this. We dismiss the hunching suspicion that man's will to succeed is not stronger than the times, and we work on taming our cynicism. As the fairies of the day prance through suburban streets with smaller versions of themselves wrapped neatly in strollers, still holding tight to a dream of perfection and beauty that is as American as the bookstores that are finally closing their doors for good, in their places new froyo shops and liquor stores. Our spurts of gratitude and love are brashly mixed with anger while waiting impatiently for Friday's deposit. We toss and turn on our commute and dismiss our yearning for the implausible. Burying our nose in our books that the Times have told us to read, we search. God, do we search, and the medicinal value of new ideas works itself into every cell in our body until the train finally sighs into our stop, and the search for the correct feeling continues. Next up we have Jesse.
No, Jesse.
Hey guys, I'm Jesse. So mine also is not a poem, but it is a piece of writing. And it's actually a letter that I wrote to myself 10 months ago, and it just arrived in my mailbox a couple days ago. And when I heard about this, I thought it might be a good thing to read. And I wrote this while I was on a 9-day wilderness trip in the Boundary Waters of Minnesota, which is up by Canada. It's a beautiful area. And it came at a particularly relevant time in my life because I just moved to New York, and it was a big switch from kind of living and working in the wilderness to coming here. And so I'll read it to you. Dear Jesse, as I sit here overlooking Slowfoot Lake from my mossy roost, my mind is slowed down, simplified, cleared of static. I'm surrounded by green and brown, a blue, half-cloudy sky, shimmering water that laps up against the shore, a cool breeze blowing off the lake, and the songs of birds chirping into the sky. I describe all this because I want you to remember the peace and serenity of this time. In this solitude, life is slowing down, and you have recentered. I don't know what you're doing now, working on promoting a film, developing a docuseries, living in New York, yeah, across the ocean, exploring new adventures, continuing your outdoor education career, whatever it is, I'm sure it's much busier and hectic than this moment on Slowfoot. And so I want you to come back to this moment and experience the inner peace and quietness that you feel now. Now take a deep breath and smile. I hope that whatever it is you're doing, it fills your bucket. If it doesn't, you gotta find something else. I hope that you're helping people, because that's the most important thing we can do with our lives. I think that here I have found a part of myself that I need to keep filled. A spirit of adventure, a focus on the present and the people, and a development of the self. Don't let that go. Remember the people in your life that have made all the difference. Don't let them go unappreciated, and make a strong effort to keep in touch. Above all, remember to walk in love. In everything you do, if it doesn't involve love, it's for naught. As the journey continues, remember to live your wild life. It frees others around you. Peace and ciao, Jesse. And next up we have Caesar.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Do you want me to project?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Should we move?
So, my name is Cesar. I'll be reading some 3 poems from my new book that just came out. Coincidentally, I'm very grateful to Emily and everyone that's here today. Yeah, this is. I took some time to translate the poems. They're all written in Spanish. That's how they were originally written. So, first, number 13. Is that okay? Can you see the translation?
Why don't I just take this out?
No, you don't even need this. I mean,
Just
Move
move
it
that.
over.
Do you want to just move the projector over? Yeah, move it like.
Move the English.
Yeah,
Keep going.
so that the English is.
Oh, yeah.
all right.
I didn't realize you translated.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. 13. Bebo de la laguna de los dioses, afincándome en aquellos muladares lacrimales. Se avecina un grupo lácteo. Visión perdida en callejón, hijo de mulata emparedada, rolliza de paréntesis. Mi calavera se afianza, el colágeno no aguanta, la piel es transparente, cual toque de tus venas su reflujo me demuestran azuladas, e intangibles prosiguen a bombear hasta que el próximo vaso se dilate. Por último, el objeto se troncha, ahumado resalta su molécula, manufactura Sandoslav, opacada por vivir en intemperie. El gentío siéntase. De hecho, mimetiza sus saberes, y las difusas grullas agarran pique para el vuelo, por lo cual un forastero gruñe en su posada. 31. O 30 y... Sí, 31. Next one. Un ministro empuña el cetro, calibrando los cursis del partido. En Lemuria, el siciliano se cepilla de ventanales. Su zarza entera pacotilla. De todos modos no alcancé a desligarme para siempre de la mar. Por el alba tus paisanas oberturan sinfonías camufladas por el sílex. Entonces la sirvienta reaparece, obsidiana palpitando en delantal. Tribunal pernoctado pectoral, junto a un libro leído a la mitad. Si solo pudiésemos unir nuestras manos, roncaría hecho pistacho de chambala. Mis sobrinos son huicholes, adiestran a sus pterodáctilos precediendo de los monseñores su cohábitat, de liendres atestadas en sus calos, fracciones que pixelean elevándose a la luna. Seamos hervor humano, hermanos promovedores y videntes, un vórtice de luz en medio de tinieblas. El último, 71. Le disparaste a tu diploma. Ocurrió de manera de carnada, el color era distinto. Sobre las escalinatas leías al comando de un pergamino ofrendado al fuego. Preso por el desvarío a no dormir pensando en ti. Engarzo bíceps, reanudo los asombros demostrados por la nieve báscula de marzo. En la galería cerca al Highland, encendí el porro y extendí el bolsón del mal criterio, junto al humo condensándose de noche y a las bombillas refulgiendo, dejando tembleques a las manos. San Petersburgo es una hilera de faros a triple combustión. El pantano de tus senos despostilla, aturdiéndose esta vez y la siguiente por tus soplos. Esencia que llegaré a conocer de cerca y me hará desaparecer como en la roca.
Own idea? I can't read that.
Oh, that's me. So I have a book of poetry that just came out, and I have copies here. So if you guys want to read along, whoever wants one, I could just pass. You could just take them and pass them around. And then I have one I read from, which is in my bag, under all your stuff. Hold on. Here. Just because I dog-eared the pages and stuff.
Oops, sorry.
And I don't like standing in a room. I feel like it's like, since I'm so tall, it's like really like looking down. So I'm just going to be with you guys on the floor. What? Well, you know, that's how the die of life were cast or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like you can't really, oh, sweet Lord.
And then I have one that's like I wrote it a while ago. I actually wrote it on September 11th in 2011, which was the year that I started working in New York City. So yeah, and it's kind of dark. Sorry, I know. Sorry. Aren't we all done? Okay. If nobody knows how to feel, then we peer in to the passing cars on the road, the children being pulled across the crosswalks, the blank spaces being... but let me see if I can just find it. Hold on. Okay, I'll read... Hold on. Let me... Okay, so, yeah, this is just not a poem, it's just an observation. Everyone ready? Okay, cool. So, yesterday on the G train at 3:45, an early dismissal and a packed train, sat next to a woman who may have been pregnant, a man standing beside her. He stared at a fresh direct poster for deliveries during the holiday season with a big block of crembling pecorino in the middle. Maybe a glass of red wine next to it and some grapes in the corner of the shot. After a while of staring, he stares. After a while of staring, he says, "Is that cheese?" She doesn't respond, keeps looking forward. Then he asks again. That's when she cranes her neck all the way around, barely moving her shoulders, almost paralyzed by the winter layers, and then gives the poster a second's glance. Then, without looking up at him, she responds bluntly, "Yeah, baby, it's cheese."